You've been lied to about pain, about peace, about power. They told you comfort is the goal, that chasing happiness will make you whole, that avoiding pain is the way. But what if I told you that's exactly why you're stuck, why you're waking up tired of your life, why the fire in your chest is burning you from the inside, not driving you? You've been taught to survive, but not to lead. You were never shown how to command your emotions like a soldier, how to build unshakable strength when the world falls apart. That's what you're about to learn now. And once you do, you will never see the world the same way again. If you truly want to be a man in today's world, if you want control, clarity, discipline, and respect, this isn't optional. It's life or death for your soul. Stoicism isn't just some dead man's philosophy. It's your roadmap to power. It's the punch in the mouth your life has been missing. It's the mirror that doesn't lie. It will demand every part of you. And if you're ready for it, it will make you unbreakable. Comment the raw truth if you're done living on your knees. Number 1, control what you can. You've been conditioned to chase shadows. You try to change her. You try to fix them. You try to control outcomes that never belong to you. And the worst part? You think it's noble. You think your loyalty, your sacrifice, your chasing will eventually pay off. But deep down, you feel it. You're bleeding for nothing. You keep texting her knowing she's already moved on. You keep doing favors for people who wouldn't pick up if you called at 2 a.m. You keep showing up to a job that breaks your spirit because it pays the bills. You've handed over your power like it was trash to women who manipulate your emotions, to bosses who treat you like a tool, to friends who ghost you the moment they don't need something, and you're angry, you're confused, you feel betrayed. But Stoicism doesn't care about your feelings. It shows you what actually works. You control what you do, how you think, how you respond. That's it. But that's everything. You don't control if she respects you, but you control whether you walk away or beg. You don't control if life gets easier, but you control whether you get harder to break. You don't control how people treat you, but you control if they ever get the chance again. Do you see it now? The man who owns his response owns his life. Women will test you. They'll say one thing and mean another. They'll pull away to see if you'll chase. If you cave, you lose respect. If you stand tall and walk, you become unforgettable. Not because you played games, but because you refused to. She doesn't want another emotional boy needing validation. She wants a man who walks with certainty, who commands his own world, who doesn't panic when she goes cold, because he knows who he is. In every situation you ask, "What's in my hands?" You don't beg, you don't explain to people who've already decided. You act, you build, you redirect every emotion, anger, lust, sadness, into creation, into discipline, into strategy, into silence, into results. When life slaps you, you don't spiral, you recalibrate. When you're ghosted, you don't chase, you upgrade. When you're fired, dumped, doubted, you don't complain, you evolve. Because the Stoic man doesn't just endure, he alchemizes pain into power. You keep showing loyalty to people who show patterns, not progress. Stop that. You're not obligated to drown just because you once swam together. Every second spent trying to force love, force loyalty, force closure is a second you're not sharpening your edge. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't care that you were nice. It doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards action, precision, mastery. And that begins when you stop handing your peace to everyone else's chaos. You've got to train your mind like it's your last weapon, because it is. You've got to become the kind of man who doesn't flinch when it all goes wrong. The kind who's been preparing for this storm his whole life. You're either a reactor or a commander. Reactors whine, commanders win. So from this day forward, you take ownership of every reaction. You stop explaining yourself to people who aren't listening. You stop asking people to care. You build, you focus, you ascend. The moment you say, "I'm responsible for everything I feel," is the moment you stop bleeding in places that won't heal. You are not powerless. You are misdirected. You are not broken. You are distracted. Everything you need, clarity, control, peace, respect, is already within you. But you won't access it until you stop throwing it away, trying to fix people, impress women, and escape hard emotions. Feel the fire. Channel it. Control what you can, and become what no one can touch. Number 2, don't chase approval. She doesn't love you more because you bent over backwards. She doesn't respect you because you sent the good morning texts, complimented her every post, did everything right. In fact, that's why she started to pull away. You think your approval chasing is kindness, but what you call kindness, she sees as weakness. And weakness never attracts, it repels. You want her to see your worth? Then stop needing her to validate it. The man who chases is already beneath her in her eyes. And deep down, you know that. The man who overtexts, overshares, overexplains, he kills mystery. He kills the chase. And when there's no chase, there's no desire. Approval is currency for the weak. Every time you chase someone's acceptance, you abandon yourself. You stop speaking your truth. You become agreeable, predictable, needy. And when you lose your edge, you lose her. Not because she's evil, but because nature despises desperation. You think your co-workers like you more because you nod at everything. They respect the man who can say no. You think your friends will leave you if you stop being the clown, the emotional sponge, the problem solver. Then maybe they were never your friends. You think the world will applaud you for being passive, pleasing, soft. The world doesn't clap for that. It ignores you. The Stoic man speaks when it's time, walks away when he's disrespected, commands attention through silence, boundaries, and action, not begging. Approval is addictive because it mimics love. But it's not love, it's control, it's dependence. And the more you seek it, the more you disconnect from your core. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you laugh when you want to speak, every time you hold back your fire just to make her comfortable, you chip away at your masculinity. You're not supposed to be understood by everyone. You're supposed to be real. You're supposed to make people uncomfortable sometimes because the truth is sharp, and you are built to carry sharpness. Stop asking your woman what she wants you to be and start becoming who you're meant to be. Let her watch. Let her decide if she can rise with you, not if you'll shrink to fit her. If she pulls away because you stood tall, then she was never meant to walk beside you. That's not loss, that's alignment. The day you stop chasing approval is the day you start becoming undeniable. A man who doesn't flinch when people disapprove. A man who acts from principle, not pressure. Who leads, not follows. Who builds, not begs. Every time you say, "I don't need you to like me, I need to respect myself," you grow. You become rare, dangerous, magnetic. Let the world think you're cold. Let her say you're distant. Let them say you've changed. If staying warm, soft, agreeable, and easy to control got you disrespected, discarded, or ignored, then becoming ice is evolution, not revenge. Start small. Say no to things that drain you. Walk away from disrespect the first time. Speak your truth with calm and conviction, even if your voice shakes. Train yourself to be fine with being misunderstood. That's how you become clear. Approval is slavery with a smile. And you weren't born to beg. You were born to rise. Now go take your crown back. Number 3, calm is a superpower. She wants to shake you. Life wants to provoke you. The world wants to pull reactions out of you like a puppet on a string. But the moment you flinch, the moment you overreact, the moment you break character, you hand them the script to your life. And they'll rewrite you into something unrecognizable. A man who loses his calm loses the throne in his mind. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering it. That doesn't mean you feel nothing, it means nothing controls you. Your girl storms off in anger, testing if you'll chase. If you panic, if you yell, if you argue, you lose your frame. But when you stand tall, respond like a mountain, speak like a king, you create space for respect. You want her to look at you with desire. Then stop being emotionally predictable. You want the world to take you seriously. Then master silence. When chaos shows up, your calm becomes currency. In the heat of betrayal, a real man doesn't explode, he observes. In the face of disrespect, he doesn't whine, he withdraws and upgrades. People expect noise when they hurt you, but when you show no emotional debt to their attack, they lose power. Calmness in this world is rare. That's why it's powerful. When you speak slowly, choose your words, and hold eye contact, people lean in. When you refuse to explain your value, they try to earn it. Your calm doesn't mean weakness, it means calculation. You've felt the pain, you've seen the chaos, but you never gave them the satisfaction of watching you fall apart. That's alpha. You've got to train your nervous system to breathe through fire, to walk through rejection without folding, to be ghosted, betrayed, mocked, and still keep your rhythm. Because calm men win long term. They think clearer, they move smarter, they strike surgically. You don't have to show them you're angry. You don't need to justify your silence. You don't explain why you left. You don't fight to be understood. You make moves. You level up. You remain unshaken. That's what makes them obsess. That's what makes her wonder if she lost something real. That's what separates men who lead from boys who react. This world is loud, weak, triggered, but you stay calculated, grounded, patient, and powerful. Calm isn't comfort, it's control. Number 4, everything is temporary. She said forever, so did you. Now you're watching her laugh with someone else like none of it mattered. You're sitting in the same room you once called home, and it doesn't feel like home anymore. That job you thought was stable, gone in a restructure. That friend who swore loyalty, silent when you needed him most. Nothing lasts. Not the high, not the heartbreak. Not even your face, your strength, your parents, your youth. Everything fades. And that's not a tragedy. That's your wake-up call. You can't afford to stay stuck in moments that no longer exist. The world moves. You must too. Stoicism teaches you this. Don't cling to things. Don't build your identity on what can be taken. She was beautiful, yes, but beauty fades. He was loyal once, but people change. That dream job? It's just a paycheck. Your emotions? Temporary chemical storms. Stop treating every feeling like it deserves a throne. She didn't leave you because you weren't good enough. She left because the version of you she fell for no longer existed. And that's okay. Let her go. Don't chase ghosts. Don't archive old messages hoping she'll remember. You weren't supposed to stay the same. You were supposed to become something greater. Let her memory fuel your growth, not your destruction. Stop begging life to go back. Start building a future so powerful it makes the past irrelevant. The gym, your discipline, your work, these are the anchors. Everything else is fleeting. People will applaud you today and doubt you tomorrow. Your strength will peak, then decline. Your parents will hug you one day and be gone the next. If that doesn't light a fire under you, nothing will. Use it. Move like your time matters. Speak truth like it might be your last chance. Forgive quickly. Cut off what's toxic quicker. And love deeply, but never blindly. Don't expect permanence from people built for seasons. Protect your energy like it's your final currency. If something brings peace, keep it. If it causes chaos, cut it. And when life rips something away, don't scream. Nod, adjust your armor, and walk forward, alone if needed. Because the man who knows everything is temporary becomes unstoppable. The pain you're feeling right now, that too will pass. But what you do with it, what you build from it, that's what matters. Some of you are waiting for the world to be fair, for closure, for her to come back, for things to make sense. But none of that is coming. What's coming is another test, another loss, another shift. And if you haven't trained yourself to detach, to adapt, to outgrow your old self, then life will crush you. The man who survives isn't the one with the most followers or the loudest voice. It's the one who knows how to let go before the fire burns everything. Keep your peace tighter than your pride. Because in a world where everything is temporary, peace is your only permanence. Now ask yourself, what are you still holding on to that's already gone? Number 5. Think before you react. Life doesn't pause for your mood swings. The world doesn't give you a second chance to act with wisdom once you've reacted like a child. One slip, one outburst, one unfiltered moment can undo years of progress. And you feel it. Every time you lash out, every time you take the bait, every time you hit send on that message you shouldn't have written. The regret, it hits harder than the trigger ever did. That's the price of reactivity. You think you're defending yourself. You think you're standing up for what's right. But what you're really doing is handing over control. The man who cannot pause is the man who cannot lead. Modern life is designed to provoke you. Notifications, outrage culture, news cycles, traffic, social media, disrespect in public, online criticism. You're trained to react, not think. And that's why most people stay average. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. The one who can remain calm while others panic wins. The one who sees clearly while others rage rises. It's not suppression, it's strategy. It's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers with their emotions. When someone insults you, you're given a fork in the road. React like a child or move like a tactician. One road feeds your ego and traps you in cycles. The other strengthens your mind and builds your legacy. Ask yourself in every conflict, is this a test or a trap? Because your ego will always choose the trap. Instant gratification, revenge, validation. But your discipline chooses the test, a moment to prove you're built differently. You don't need to show power with volume. You show power by not being moved. You show power when you stay silent in storms. You show power when you use your energy building instead of defending. Every strong man you admire, from ancient Stoics to modern giants, mastered one thing: the gap between trigger and response. In that gap is your growth, your freedom, your destiny. Your mind is your most dangerous weapon, but only if it's trained. Most men live on autopilot, reacting out of habit, fear, pride. But when you start rewiring your brain, breathing before you speak, asking questions before judging, observing before acting, you separate from the pack. You stop bleeding energy on battles that don't build you. You stop wasting days cleaning up messes your reactivity created. You move from chaos to control. And when you lead yourself like that, others feel it. They lean in, they trust you. Because you're not just a man, you're a fortress, still, sharp, powerful. Start today. Practice the pause. Let people misunderstand you. Let them project. Let them try to provoke you. And just breathe. Stay still. Let them wonder what you're planning. That's presence. That's strength. That's what men are built for. Number 6. Words can mislead. Words are the most dangerous drug in the world. More men have been broken by a well-timed compliment than a punch. More women have shattered trust with sweet nothings than betrayal you could see coming. Words are the paintbrush of illusion. They sound like love. They echo like loyalty. But often they're nothing more than sound wrapped in hope. And if you're not grounded, if you haven't trained yourself to see patterns over promises, you will be fooled over and over. Because the weak man wants to believe. He wants her to mean it. He wants them to support him. He wants to think that everyone clapping is actually clapping for him, not for the image of him that they benefit from. But that's not the world we live in. People say, "I love you," and ghost you within days. They say always and leave when it's hard. They say, "You're my brother," and disappear when you're down. Words are easy. That's why everyone uses them. They cost nothing, but they can bankrupt your soul if you invest without seeing the balance sheet. If someone talks like gold but acts like shadow, you walk. No conversation, no closure, just space. Because the man who constantly asks people to explain themselves is still hoping their words will turn true. But the man who has standards knows, if I have to ask you to be who you said you were, you've already failed the test. Stop arguing with people who showed you their truth. Stop replying to "I miss you" when absence was louder. Stop falling for "I got you" when actions say "I use you." Most people don't lie to hurt. They lie to survive. They lie because they don't want to face who they are. They lie because it's easier to keep you hopeful than to confess they never meant it. Your job isn't to fix them. It's to filter them. You don't need louder words. You need clearer actions. Watch for who listens when you speak, who shows up when there's nothing in it for them, who remembers the small details when you're not around. That's your tribe. That's your circle. That's your truth. Let the rest drown in their echo chambers. Let them write essays explaining betrayal. You stay silent, stay sharp, and stay gone. Because in the end, the man who trusts words over patterns loses every time. Number 7. Adversity builds strength. Every scar on your soul was a classroom. Every betrayal you faced was a mirror. Every storm that ripped your life apart was a message from the universe saying, "Now we see what you're made of." Pain is not the enemy. Discomfort is not failure. Adversity is not punishment. They are your awakening, your forge, your sharpening. The world taught you to fear pain, to avoid conflict, to run from anything that hurt. But that's why most men never evolve. Because all growth is violent, all strength is earned through broken pieces. Your rock bottom was your foundation. Your heartbreak was your redirection. Your humiliation was your training ground. The question is not, "Why did this happen to me?" The question is, who do I become because of it? You can let pain turn you bitter or turn you into a beast. You can let setbacks shrink your confidence or stretch your standards. You can let rejection make you question your worth or remind you to reclaim it. Life will not apologize for testing you, but it will reward you if you pass. The weights that broke your back today will build your spine tomorrow if you keep standing. That loss, that betrayal, that failure, good. That means you're being carved into something sharper. But only if you stay in the fight. Only if you keep going. Every day you rise when it's hard, you become harder to stop. Every time you face the mirror and don't lie to yourself, you become more dangerous. The man who hasn't bled hasn't been tested. And the man who hasn't been tested will fold when it counts. Embrace the chaos. Lean into the discomfort. Chase the version of yourself that only emerges under pressure. Because if you avoid the fire, you stay soft. But if you run through it, you become forged. You weren't meant to stay average. You weren't built to live soft, scared, silent. Everything that's broken you, scarred you, confused you, it didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. You've walked through darkness that others wouldn't survive. You've held back tears in silence. You've kept moving on days your soul begged you to quit. And that's why you're still here. Not to play small, not to blend in, but to rise, to become the man you always needed, the man no one could save you from being except you. You don't need approval. You need alignment. You don't need closure. You need conviction. You don't need a crowd. You need a code. You are the answer. You are the force. You are the fire. So go build your peace. Own your pain. Breathe through chaos. Speak with precision. Move with honor. Let every setback sharpen your edge. Let every silence teach you presence. Let every doubt fuel your next level. The world needs fewer talkers and more warriors. Be one of them. Stand tall, even when your knees shake. Speak truth, even when your voice cracks. Build, even when no one claps. And never ever forget, no one's coming to save you. It's on you, and that's your power. If this video sparked something inside you, don't just scroll away. Support this channel, not just for clicks, for movement, for momentum, for the next man who's searching for clarity, fire, direction. When you like, comment, subscribe, you're not feeding an algorithm. You're feeding a mission. You're helping this message reach the men who are drowning in noise, in weakness, in confusion. Let this be the light. Let this be the mirror. Let this be the moment everything changes. Drop a comment with "I rise above" if you're done playing weak. Share this with a brother who needs it.